Google making the Pixel 9a feel cheaper just to keep the price low? A new hands-on leak has surfaced and reveals some interesting design changes that might surprise you. A video showing the Pixel 9a recently appeared online, giving us an early look at Google's upcoming budget-friendly smartphone. The original video was quickly removed, but a Threads post by Shane Craig still has screenshots, allowing us to analyze what's different. From the first look, it's clear that Google is taking a different approach with the design of this phone. The leaked images show the Pixel 9a in obsidian, a dark color that Google has used for its previous models. However, what stands out isn't just the color, it's the overall look and feel of the phone. Unlike previous Pixel A series devices which tried to maintain a premium feel despite their lower price, the Pixel 9 looks more cost-conscious. Instead of metal or glass, this phone appears to have a plastic body, which makes it lighter and easier to hold, but also less premium. According to Shane Craig, the Pixel 9 reminds him of older Nokia Lumia phones, which were known for their simple yet sturdy plastic builds. This could be a good thing for those who prefer a lightweight device, but for others, it might make the phone feel less premium compared to previous Pixel A series models. One of the most noticeable design changes is in the camera module. Google has traditionally given its Pixel phones a signature camera bar that stretches across the back of the phone, making them stand out. However, the Pixel 9a takes a different approach. The camera bar is now much more subtle, sitting almost flush with the phone's body. There is only a small ring around the two camera lenses that slightly protrudes from the back. While this makes the design more minimalistic, it also makes the phone look more like an entry-level device rather than a mid-range one. But here's the catch, there's still some uncertainty about this leak. The video doesn't confirm whether this is a real Pixel 9a or just a dummy unit. Dummy phones are non-functional replicas used by manufacturers to showcase the design before launch without revealing any internal hardware or software details. However, considering that we are getting closer to Google's expected announcement on March 19, there's a good chance that this is the final design of the Pixel 9a. So what else can we expect for the Pixel 9a? Leaks suggest that despite the changes in design, the phone will still pack solid hardware. It is expected to come with Google's Tensor G4 chip, 8 GB of RAM, and a 120Hz OLED display. These are impressive specs for a mid-range phone, especially at its rumored price of $499. It seems that Google is keeping performance strong while cutting costs in other areas, mainly in the body materials. However, there's one big question that remains. How durable will this phone be? Plastic bodies tend to be more resistant to shattering than glass, but they can also scratch more easily. If the Pixel 9a uses a softer plastic material, it might not hold up as well over time, especially for users who don't use a protective case. With that being said, Google's A-series phones have always been about making high-end features more accessible at a lower price, and the Pixel 9a seems to be following that same strategy. The question is whether this new design will be a deal-breaker for users who prefer a more premium feel. So what do you think? Is Google making a smart decision by cutting costs and design to keep the price low? Or does this make the Pixel 9a feel too cheap? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. Is Samsung finally making foldable phones more practical? Or is there still a missing piece? A new leak suggests that the upcoming Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is going to be thinner than ever. This is a big deal because one of the main complaints about foldable phones has always been their bulkiness. If these leaks are accurate, Samsung is working hard to change that. But while the slimmer design is exciting, there's still one area where the company seems to be holding back. According to the leaked renders, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be significantly thinner than the previous Z Fold 6. This could make it much easier to carry and more comfortable to use. While other brands have also been working on making foldables slimmer, Samsung's design might set a new standard. The device is rumored to have an 8.2-inch inner display and a 6.5-inch outer display, slightly larger than its predecessors. On the inside, Samsung isn't cutting any corners when it comes to performance. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy, the same processor used in the Galaxy S25 series. This means users can expect top-tier performance whether they are gaming, multitasking, or running demanding apps. There have been rumors that Samsung might use its own Exynos chip in some regions, but since Samsung has a strong relationship with Qualcomm, the Snapdragon option seems more likely. The cameras are also getting an exciting upgrade. The main camera is rumored to feature a 200-megapixel sensor, a huge jump from previous models. This can mean sharper photos, better low-light performance, and improved detail. However, the rest of the camera setup, including the ultra-wide telephoto, front-facing, and under-display cameras, is expected to remain the same as the Z Fold 6. Foldable phones have often been criticized for having weaker cameras compared to standard flagship models, so this improvement could be a big selling point. Now let's talk about the one area where Samsung doesn't seem to be making much progress: battery life. The Z Fold 7 is rumored to come with the same 4,400 mAh battery as its predecessors. For a device with such a large display and high-end features, many users were hoping for a bigger battery. Samsung has been using this battery capacity in its foldables for years, despite feedback from users wanting more. However, there's still a chance that improved chip efficiency and software optimization could help extend battery life, even if the capacity remains the same. Another thing to consider is the release date. According to leaks, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is expected to launch in mid-July. This follows Samsung's usual schedule for foldable devices, though a slight delay is possible, especially since the Galaxy S25 series was released later than expected. The foldable phone market has come a long way over the past few years. When Samsung first introduced the Galaxy Z Fold series, many people were skeptical. Early models were thick, had visible creases in the display, and were not as durable as traditional smartphones. But with each new generation, Samsung has refined the design, improved the hinge, and made foldables more practical for everyday use. That being said, the competition is heating up, with other brands launching their own foldable devices. If Samsung wants to stay ahead, it needs to keep pushing the limits of innovation.
Is Apple finally breaking away from Qualcomm for good? A new report reveals surprising details about the 5G modem chips in the upcoming iPhone 17 lineup, and the changes could have a big impact. For years, Apple has relied on Qualcomm's Snapdragon 5G modem chips to power the cellular connectivity in its iPhones. But with the recently announced iPhone 16e, Apple has started moving toward its own in-house C1 5G modem. This shift is expected to continue with the iPhone 17 Air, which will also use the C1. However, Apple's strategy for the rest of the iPhone 17 series is where things get interesting. While some reports suggest that Apple will stick with Qualcomm for most models, a new report claims that Apple is planning to use a 5G modem chip from MediaTek instead. If true, this would mark a major shift, as MediaTek has never supplied modem chips for iPhones before. One key limitation of Apple's C1 modem is that it does not support mWave, the fastest type of 5G signal. But since mWave coverage is very limited and hard to find in most places, many users might not even notice this missing feature. Apple seems to be focusing on building its own modem technology step by step before completely phasing out Qualcomm. Apple's long-term plan for its C1 modem is ambitious. Reports suggest that by 2026, Apple will introduce a second-generation version of the C1, which will add mWave support and achieve download speeds of up to 6 gigabits per second. It could also support 6-carrier aggregation for better network performance, allowing the phone to combine multiple frequency bands for faster speeds. Looking even further ahead, Apple wants to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the iPhone in 2027 by making the C1 modem better than Qualcomm's Snapdragon modem. Apple hopes its modem will not only match Qualcomm in speed but also outperform it in artificial intelligence features. The company is even working on making its modem compatible with satellite networks, allowing users to send text messages or even make calls in areas where there's no cellular signal. Another interesting goal for Apple is to eventually combine its main processor with its modem chip into one powerful component. This would improve efficiency and possibly allow for even thinner devices. Apple's Senior Vice President of Hardware Technologies, Johnny Shroji, has called the C1 the most complex piece of technology Apple has ever designed, showing just how much confidence Apple has in its in-house modem. By moving away from Qualcomm, Apple also stands to save money. Right now, Apple has to pay Qualcomm both the licensing fee and royalties for every iPhone that uses its modem. By developing its own modem, Apple can cut those costs while gaining more control over its technology. So, what does this mean for future iPhones? It looks like the iPhone 17 Air will be the first major test for Apple's C1 modem, while MediaTek's modem could power the rest of the lineup. Then, in 2026, Apple plans to expand the C1 to all iPhone models with an improved version. If everything goes according to plan, by 2027, Apple's modem technology could be more advanced than Qualcomm's. What do you think? Is Apple making the right move by switching to its own modem chips, or should it stick with Qualcomm? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on Apple's latest tech.